Hello and welcome back to these blueprint tutorials where we're now going to take a look at what's known as possession inside Unreal. So in the past we have looked at some of the basic concepts. We've built built up some controls and a first person camera. We have set up some basic blueprints to turn on and off a light switch. But now what we want to do is, or what we're going to look at is switching from one pawn to another. So when we have use the possession node, what we're essentially doing is changing from one pawn to another. So that's useful if you want to change from one character to another character, or as we are going to do in this tutorial, is we're going to transfer from the player to a vehicle. So in order to do that, I'm going to set up a new scene here, and you may think we may want to start with a third person, but in this case we're just going to start with the vehicle. So we're going to select the vehicle blueprint here, and we're going to call this BP underscore car tutorial. So I'm going to create this project, and let's just minimize the launcher here, and we're just going to wait for this to open up. And once that's done, you may have to give me a minute to resize the editor here. So let's just wait a moment. Okay, let's see. So we have our BP underscore car underscore tutorial. The editor will be opening in just a moment here. Okay, so the editor is open here. Let me just rescale this to the size of this window. So let's just pull this down and like this. Okay, so here's what we have. This is the car blueprint, and all that happens is if we click play, we will spawn into this car. So if I just press the F11 key, you see we can drive around, and we have this, it's just basically this car. But what we want is we want to be able to spawn into this level as the character, and then get into this car. So let's set this up. So what we need to do is, if we just pull this out over here, is we need a character. Now what we can do is we can either migrate the character blueprints from the third person game, so we could migrate the character in the character blueprints. However, what I'm going to do is, if we click marketplace, and I just bring this into view here, and I go to library, and you see I have downloaded this animation starter pack. Okay, so this is free off the marketplace. You want to go ahead and get that, and what we're going to do is click this add to project, and it's going to ask me which one we want to bring this into. Let's see, so we have BP car tutorial, and I'm going to choose add to project, and all this is going to do is bring that content in here. So now you can see, if we go over here, you see we now have characters and a bunch of animations. So what we want is we need to go into character, and this is the character we want to spawn in as. So let's just pull this up. Let's bring this into tabs over here. So this is the actual character. So what we need to do is we need to set this up as we have done before with the game modes, and with the game modes. So what we need to do is let's type in mode here to get the game mode, and looks like we're in the wrong folder. So under blueprints, you see we have my game, and under the, let's see, it is the default the default pawn class. We want to change this to the ASP character, and save this. And so if we, let's see, right click, choose play from here, you can see that now we'll spawn in as the character instead. Now what you'll notice is that we have a few issues. The controls are not set up for this character. Okay, so if I just press escape and we go back to the character over here, open up the blueprint, you can see that these are the controls we have here. Now where we have these errors is where we have problems. So you see we have a problem with the mouse input, we have a problem with the crouching, and you see we also have the jump. So all we need to do to fix this is to go to edit, project settings, just bring this into the window here, and we're going to go down to inputs. Okay, so under axis mapping, we need to add a turn value. So we're going to type turn, and this is going to be the mouse X. Now I believe that up and down was inverted, so I'm going to change this to a -1. We may need to change that again. Okay, and we need to add under the action mappings, we're going to add crouch and jump. So let's add jump. Add this to keyboard, and so we're going to use spacebar, and we need to add crouch, and we're going to set this to the C key. So let's just type C. There we go. Okay, so if we close this down, click play, you can see that now we can move around properly. We can look up, down, left, right. We can move backwards and forwards. We press space bar and jump, and if we press the C, we can crouch here. So let's just close this off. Let's just go back into the blueprint just for one last moment here, and let's just recompile, and there we go. So now all those errors have disappeared. Okay, so we have set up the first part of this. In the next video, we're going to add the car in here and start to set up the blueprints to switch between the player and the car. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.